It's a bunch of crazy stories written by the Brothers Grimm. And now you're gonna learn all about them, listening to the Brothers Grimm.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, students and scholars, friends and relations, welcome to the Brothers Dim podcast in which we delve into the oft-times bizarre collection of tales collected, curated, and published by the Brothers Grimm in the early 1800s in Germany, including this week's story 74, The Fox and His Cousin, or alternatively, Gossip Wolf and the Fox, or alternatively, like a million other things, but we'll get into that. My name is Phil.
And my name is Mike.
Mike, how are you now?
I'm doing all right. We're gearing up for summer travel and all sorts of ridiculousness. How about yourself?
I'm good. One thing, for all of our listeners that have been following the last couple of weeks, Amanda did win her school board seat.
Woo! Congratulations.
Oh, yes. And I'm also good. Yeah.
Oh, this is not relevant to the podcast, but I'm going to be in Brooklyn in September.
Oh, boy.
My absolutely favorite band in the world is playing. They've never been to the U.S. before. The closest they're coming is Brooklyn, so I'm going to them.
Maybe I can come to the show.
Mm. I may also extend that or do it at a different time because I'm currently talking to an awesome tattoo artist in Oakland who has a design I really want. She's going to be coming to New York in the fall, so I might do that. Or I might say fuck it and fly to Oakland anyway because it's boss and she's awesome.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mike, I need to ask you something, though.
Do you?
Yes. Have you ever been asked to be a godfather?
You know, we've been over this before.
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
I believe you have, right?
I have once for a while. And I don't know what happened to the child because, as we probably said the last time we were talking about godfathers, the parents cut both of us completely out of their lives.
The offer was rescinded.
The offer was all offers rescinded.
Yeah. God only knows where they are now.
Miranda is.
But I'm still friends with her on LinkedIn. I know she's.
Yeah, I'm friends with her on LinkedIn.
She's alive.
She's got like an art class that she teaches about Asian art.
Huh.
I think also still works in big pharma to pay for the bills, including like her kid who's probably about to go to college, and kid 2, which is not far behind, and fucking.
Oh God, you're right because they're older than mine.
Yeah, goddaughter is probably she has to be like 16, 17 at this point.
Sam was a baby when they got married, right?
Yeah.
And he's in college. Yeah, she's got to be junior, senior, or already there. That's oh my God, time flies.
Sure does. Well, anyways, I get nothing to do with her because we were cut out of the parents' lives, and I don't care. I don't care all that much, even though we've now brought it up several times on the show. Anyways, to get on with it, at the time I was quite honored about the whole thing, and I still think I'd be a good godfather to someone because being in charge of someone's spiritual growth is perfect for me. Kind of one of my bags, even though sometimes my perspective is that of being on the devil's side of the shoulders. but I think that this is a good approach that you should at least hear both sides sometimes.
Right. Yeah. And I think you're good at presenting both, which is probably not the best trait for a godfather.
No, I think that it is. I think you need both to have a good spirit to be.
The few godfathers I've known in my life tend to have that sort of like kooky uncle kind of vibe.
Yeah.
We'll try to steer you straight in life, but we'll also give you your first joint.
A little bit. Yeah. I wasn't going to give a joint to the kid, but I would have been decent enough in the role.
Yeah, agreed.
I digress. Mike, without further ado, if you would be so kind, would you take us through the plot of Grimm Story 74, The Fox and His Cousin? Oh
boy. All right, buckle up. This is a short one, but it is also insane. We spoke of godfathers. A wolf welcomes a new pup into the world. She asks the fox to be godfather, seeing as he's wise and they're cousins and all. I guess, foxes and wolves. I guess they're both canine family. The fox agrees, and they have a nice feast to celebrate. Afterwards, the fox tells the wolf that for the pup to grow up strong, it's going to need good food and that he knows a good farm to go swipe a sheep from. Wolf thinks this is a delightful idea, and they both head off to raid a farm. As they approach the farm, the fox points out the barn where the sheep are. He tells the wolf to sneak in there and grab a sheep. He's going to go around the back and grab a chicken. So wolf heads off. Fox says, yeah, actually, just kidding. I'm going to stay here. Stays put, has a little rest. The wolf gets halfway through the barn when the guard dog lets out an uproar. This may sound familiar from the stories we've been reading lately. The farmers come, they catch her, beat the hell out of her, and then douse her with some kind of burning solution for cleaning, as it's described. I'm guessing this is lye or something like that.
Yeah, we talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Anyway, totally fucked up beyond all repair. She barely escapes, drags herself out to the edge of the forest. At this point, the fox feigns injury too. Says they set upon him, broke every bone in his body. He can't walk, and if she's at all concerned about his life, then she'll have to carry him. Barely able to walk herself, she hauls him over her back and heads home. They arrive at her house, at which point the fox leaps off her back and shouts, "Farewell, cousin. May the roasting you have had do you good." The end. Do you have a moral on this one? Because I do.
I've got several morals that we can.
Okay.
I'm not going to go. We're not going to hit each one right in a row.
Oh, is this? Yeah. we'll work up our way up to them.
Moral 1, I guess, just textually, right, is trust no one. Don't trust your cousin.
Don't trust the Godfather.
Don't trust the Godfather, but like the fox is mad that he was asked to be Godfather. And again, we can start getting into this because despite how short the story is, which was like 3/4 of a page, the story itself is bonkers enough that I think it's all to do with translation, but I'm not.
It's hard to tell tone.
But textually, the she-wolf or whatever is just like, hey, like I'll just ask my cousin to be the Godfather, and he's like, sure. And then
specifically, she's like, oh yeah, no, he's wise. One of the wisest of the animals. It'll be a good role model.
My kid will grow up right. And the fox is like, I'll fuck you.
Saddle me with this shit. I'll teach you.
I didn't want to be Godfather. And all right, you're going to get what you deserve.
But again, lady. It's all in the trying to read the tone, which is translated at least once.
Yeah, I did not find a single translation of this story that was the same.
Right. The only one I didn't have my book on me when I was doing notes. One of the versions where she's actually referred to as Mrs. Gossip, the wolf is. Yeah. Worthy Mrs. Gossip, I thank you for the honor which you are doing me. I will, however, conduct myself in such a way that you will be repaid for it. It sounds benign enough, but also if you look at it, he might be saying, if you're going to saddle me with this shit, then I'll get you back.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know. It's weird.
The gossip thing, like, I enjoy our book. The Margaret Hunt, which is the go-to translation for Grimm, was certainly one of the most popular, one of the earliest ones. But I have no idea necessarily if our translation is any better than any other translation. And the translations are all over the place on this one.
Yeah.
And that includes the gossip wolf stuff.
Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole with that. Did you as well?
Yeah, I 100% went down a rabbit hole. You want to get into it?
Yeah. Do you want to go with what you've got?
Yeah, based on everything I saw, I thought maybe gossip was just one English translation variant, and it was maybe a mistranslation somewhere. And then the wolf became Mrs. Gossip. That's why she got tortured, because who doesn't hate gossip, right?
Right, yeah.
She gets burned as a result by the townsfolk. Brings us to moral 2, which is don't be a gossip or you'll get burned.
People are terrible.
People are terrible, but also like that works as a metaphor. Like if you're out talking trash, then you're gonna get burned eventually.
Could it tie to witches, witch burning? I mean, like gossip evokes the idea of like the crone, the ne'er-to-do old woman in the village.
Okay,
who 100 years before they're burned or hung.
Certainly in early 1800s Germany, that
probably not what they were implying, but
man, that's an interesting reading. I'll think about that. I don't know. I found, so at one point, I found the original German, just dumped that into an online translator.
Mm-hmm.
The word gossip did show up once. I don't even know how to describe this. But anyways, if things are in a slightly different order, then the word gossip appears. But if things are in the normal order, it's godmother, or it was Frau Gevatterin.
Gevatterin.
Frau Gevatterin.
Which translates to godmother.
Translates to godmother. Gevatterin translates to captured.
In Dutch.
Itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mrs. Captured.
Which I don't know if that's just a funny little quirk of translations, because I mean, like Dutch and German have some similarities.
That was what I kept thinking. I was like, I think this is all a funny joke in German.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
we'll never know.
And people are like, oh yeah, a fox, and it's close enough to fox or something, and just like it's one of these things where it's just like the translation means nothing.
Yeah, we're missing one step.
It's too bad, but so we can only go with what we've got.
Yeah, the original text is Gevatterin, so that means godmother.
Yep, but only if it's Frau Gewatterin, right?
I don't know.
Then it's Mrs. Godmother.
Oh, maybe.
Or Mrs. Godparent.
Maybe that. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's. I thought maybe it was redundant, but maybe not. But so in Old English, godparent. Another word for godparent was godsib, Godsibb.
Okay.
Which originally meant godparent. It later morphed to mean close friend or confidant, and that's the origin of the word gossip.
That's fascinating. That's a really good. I missed that one too.
Yeah. So
that's great. And I'm again. This is maybe there's where the joke is.
So that's the thing is I'm not sure it's a joke. If you look at it linguistically, at least in that pattern, it just means close friend or confidant.
But then, gossip. Then why the vitriol?
I don't know. It's just because this story is fucking weird. My moral is foxes are dicks.
This fox is a super dick.
I mean, we're 3 stories deep into the fox
the foxhole
quadrangle.
Yeah,
I just invented a word.
Speaking of burning, this is a weird punishment. I'm glad you saw this too. A strong burning mixture which had been prepared for washing.
Yeah,
and the only thing I could think of in that context is lye.
Right.
And if we go to another translation, they pour unburned ash over the wolf's fur, which again, a wood ash is a laundry cleaner, which is lye.
Yeah.
Which we would add lye to, and that's why the wolf's getting burned.
Yeah.
It's a punishment we haven't really seen yet.
And we haven't seen weird punishments in a while either. Early on, it was barrels full of snakes and oil and throwing.
We haven't seen unique punishments. Maybe we're just like.
Maybe we're just ignored to it.
I thought for a second, I was like, I wonder if she had fleas. And so he's like, this is for your own good.
And she just didn't understand.
But maybe the lye could cure that. And then, but then I went looking up what happens if you dump lye and wood ash on an animal, and they're like, oh, it'll probably die. It doesn't cure anything. It's very painful. It leaves you open to infection. It's what people used to use on animal hides to get rid of the hair before doing the rest of whatever they do to skin to make it into leather.
Yeah. I'll tan your hide.
With lye and everything else that just got dumped onto this. But anyways, yeah.
Lie's a caustic base, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody overestimates acids. Never thinks about the bases.
It's the extremes. That's what gets you. It's always the way. Stay right in the middle. That's what's good.
Do you have a grade for this?
Ah, Jesus Christ. You know what? I'll go C+. It gets a point or two just because of how insane the fox is. But I don't get it. I don't think there's no reason to particularly like the fox. It's just like the Brothers Grimm hate wolves. So presumably they hate their children too. Make me the godfather of a wolf? Fuck you. I'm going to think of a new interesting punishment just for you.
Yeah. My immediate reaction was a D. That's what I have written down here.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the more interesting ones to research with the whole gossip origin. And I haven't gotten it down into linguistics in quite a while. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's bad enough. There's nothing out there. So both of us had to go down whatever holes we could even think of to find. And that just, so made the research, at least this is all our own, folks, which is why the research is probably a lot shittier. I'll give it a C.
It was partially because I've been so stuck in the B-, B+ range. I wanted to try to be a little more dynamic. I could come up to a C-.
I'll do C. Yeah, I'll meet you there. C-. It's again, there's just bam, bam, bam. The fox just tortures a wolf for a little bit.
The end.
Sucks to be you. Bye.
Yeah, it makes the wolf carry him back, despite the fact that she is grievously injured. He's just pretending to be injured, and then jumps off and says, "Farewell, cousin. May the roasting you have do you good." She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Yeah, because never once was he like, "Yeah, I don't want to be a godparent."
There's so many different weird things that it could be. One thing I did find out, Frau Gewätterin in German, right? Frau kind of means woman, but depending on how it's used, can mean Mrs. Wife or an unattached woman. But again, until the 19th century, Frau was only used for royal women. So maybe I was like, well, maybe she's royal. Fox is a commoner. Smart one, but a common nonetheless. Wolf asks the fox to be the godfather because he can teach my kid, but he wants to teach the rich lady a lesson.
Yeah, I could buy that.
Maybe that could be more a moral. What are we on now? 3. Treat your teachers well, maybe. Pay them. Maybe they say, the fox is a teacher. He's like, dude, you need to pay me for that, sir. So I'm not doing it just because you call me cousin.
Well, she gave him a fucking feast.
Yeah, so you want a pizza party for your COVID service?
Yeah, it doesn't say what the feast was. That's another thing he says. He's like, if you want this kid to grow up big and strong, we got to feed him really well. Was that a shot at whatever the feast entailed? Was it just a shitty pizza party, or
it's not going to be this food
salad bar? He's like, let's go get us a sheep.
We're having the wedding reception at Ruby Tuesdays. Open salad bar, guys. Open salad bar.
Past apps.
Yeah, it's all apps are free. They're going to be passed around. It's going to be great. There's not an open bar, but
there's an open baked potato bar.
Put cheese, bacon, scallions, whatever you want on there. I actually don't. Is Ruby Tuesday? Is that anywhere other than Massachusetts? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
All right. Well, anyways, for our listeners, for all our students and scholars out there, Ruby Tuesdays is kind of one of those TGIF type places.
Yeah, it's like a cut rate TGI Fridays.
Yeah. You want to get into pitch?
Yeah, you got a pitch?
I got a bunch, but okay, so a few weeks ago, I know we read the first of 4 fox tales in a row.
Mm-hmm.
This is number 3. Story 72, The Wolf and the Man. And at the time, I thought it might be fun to connect all 4 stories, and we'd see where we were.
Which I did a poor job of with 73.
Well, you didn't know the plan, and then immediately it was thrown off anyways, because last week's episode, The Wolf and the Fox, was so good. I thought it was an A+ tale, but one of the things that I think we both were going down, what is the expression? I keep saying foxhole, that ain't right.
Rabbit hole.
We keep going down the rabbit hole, not a foxhole, trying to figure out what the vitriol is. For my pitch then, okay, so
vitriol from the fox.
From the fox, yeah.
Yep.
For the wolf. Textually, it's unfair to the she-wolf. She just says, you're my cousin, you're clever. Can you be the godfather to my kid? It's quite an honor. The fox says, sure, and then just leads a recently pregnant woman to be tortured to near death, and then laughs about it. I mean, that's the crux. But I'm wondering, we didn't even get to meet the kid. Yeah, maybe do that. The fox takes the young wolf pup and wants to teach it one lesson, and one lesson only. If you're not one of us, if you're not a forest critter, then you are one of them, a human. Humans are dangerous. They're to be left alone. So he takes the young wolf out to get roughed up, but in a way that it won't die. It knows these people just like to burn you with soap. But the wolf learns to fear humans. It's tough love.
Yeah.
But maybe that could be it. The other thing I thought of was like, so what if it is the same fox? If we do the full 4 stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if it's like a year later? This is the pregnant she-wolf, and the dad was the wolf who used to threaten to eat the fox every day. And the fox, finally free of being threatened with death every day,
because he left him in the basement where he couldn't get out.
Yeah, he's got this she-wolf come along asking if he wants to be part of the family. Fox is like, dude, I fucking hate your family, man. And I was going to leave you alone. But what you're saying is you want me to train up your pup so that he's clever. And then when he's older and he's threatening to eat me or bring him food, I won't be able to trick him into getting fat in a butcher's basement.
I like this.
And beaten
to death.
This. So
yeah.
I think those are the only 2 things I could kind of think of, I guess.
It makes sense.
Either it's probably part of the 4 stories or tough love. But
as we say often, it's probably not what they intended, but I like it. It works.
I think you and I are never going to know what was intended. No. We're never going to have Dr. Zips on this show.
It'd be cool though.
I would think it was so good.
I'd be afraid that I couldn't hold up any other end of the conversation.
I would be perfectly fine just listening if we ever had that, to bring this all the way back around to something we've said 9,000 times on this episode. I think that the translation, there's something in the translation that's either funny or witty or clever wordplay, and we just don't get it. Anyway. That is all that I have.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Well, if you don't have anything else and I don't have anything else, then I think we can call it and put it to bed on this. I think we might have been able to fit that into that last minute, but
probably.
Mike, if someone wanted to reach out to us and say hello, is there a way they could do so?
There absolutely is. You can always find us on Blue Sky at Brothers Dim. We can be reached at brothersdimpodcast@gmail.com. And you can listen to all the episodes, plus hopefully some extras at some point soon at brothersdim.com.
Well, thank you, Mike, and thank you to all of our listeners. Please feel free to share and enjoy the Brothers Dim podcast with all of your friends. Sleep tight, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.